The assault weapon ban is coming back in the state of California as there is a new bill that's being proposed that would outlaw the other firearms. Firearms that are not rifles, pistols, or shotguns that currently are legally allowed to use. Detachable magazines. They do not have a stock. They are not designed to be fired from the shoulder. They have a 16-inch barrel. These guns are center-fire semi-autos. The state of California and Gavin Newsom do not like the fact that Franklin Armory was able to work within the law with what is currently legal to do. They have stopped us from being able to easily acquire these firearms. They have stopped us from being able to buy them, even when it is currently legal to do so. And now they're going to be enacting emergency legislation that would make it illegal to buy them. Let's talk about it today. I first want to read you the update from Franklin Armory. I'm going to kind of paraphrase just to give you an idea. So basically, Franklin Armory said that they made a firearm that is currently legal to own in the state of California. It is currently legal to buy, but the DOJ is not allowing them. It is not a rifle, pistol, or shotgun. Therefore, it does not fall within the current definition of what an assault weapon is, because the current state assault weapon ban first requires something that is a rifle, pistol, or a shotgun. Because this gun is not legally any of those, it is not affected by the assault weapon ban. The Department of Justice confirmed with them that that is a legal configuration to own a firearm. However, they have intentionally not updated their system to add an other drop-down menu on the DROS. Basically, this is the most clear sign of government overreach that there has ever been. This is something that the DOJ has acknowledged. Yes, that is legal to do. It is within the law, within the parameters of the law to do this, to own these, but they are not allowing you to buy these guns. This is an infringement. This is the most clear-cut. They are going outside of their bounds of what they have the authority to do by not allowing you to have these guns. To add insult to injury, so I'm paraphrasing here, to further add insult to law-abiding citizens of the Golden State, this law has been drafted to have an effective date of July 1st of 2020. That's this July. Given that the typical non-emergency timeline for the legislative process would normally have an effective date of January 1st of the following year, this draft appears to demonstrate an overreach of government authority. In tandem with this proposed legislation, Governor Newsom is requesting to allocate $1 million of taxpayer money to go towards the process of actually banning these guns, which is ridiculous. They're writing a new bill during the whole pandemic thing going on right now to address the shortcomings of the current government and allow them to better respond. And that's what they're saying. But really, they're doing this to put whatever legislation they want forward to utilize this as a tool for them to get what they want. And they want power over us. They don't want us to have these guns. I'm going to have a link down below that you could read the actual bill text. But here's the thing. Franklin Armory is still allowing you to put down a refundable $5 deposit for a Title I. If you want one of those, I highly recommend you just put down the $5 deposit. Here's why. They have a lawsuit with the California Department of Justice because the DOJ is not allowing us to actually sell these guns and own these guns. They aren't allowing us to have that drop-down menu. The problem with that is they're not allowing the court case to be heard most likely before July 1st because of the whole pandemic that is currently going on. If we can't actually have this court case before then, we have a situation where there could be a potential outcome where if it's favorable, you're able to get something, maybe, we don't know. Basically, your best chance of getting a Title I from Franklin Armory would be if you put down the $5 deposit that I remind you is fully refundable. So please go out and do that. Now, I'm going to read you the actual bill text that they are proposing. This is the Department of Justice proposed bill trailer language, other firearm registration. So I'm going to read this to you, and then we're going to kind of talk about it. So stick around. So here it is. This is the typical language that we see in the assault weapon ban for rifles, pistols, and shotguns. Nothing changes with the rifle section as far as I'm aware. Nothing changes with the pistol section. The shotgun section says a semi-automatic shotgun. It goes from saying has the ability to accept a detachable magazine to does not have a fixed magazine. This was a whole issue because when the last assault weapon ban rolled out, they applied the fixed magazine requirements for shotguns with box magazines to be the new way of having to break the action open, but that's not really what they were allowed to do. So this is them amending their, once again, overreach and overstepping. So here it is, Section 9. A semi-automatic centerfire firearm that is not a rifle, pistol, or shotgun that does not have a fixed magazine but has any one of the following, and then it's the features. So let's look at this again. A semi-auto centerfire firearm that is not a rifle, pistol, or shotgun that does not have a fixed magazine, meaning that if you currently have an other and you don't want to register it, you could put a fixed magazine on it. You could make it not semi-auto. You could make it not center fire by making it rimfire, or you could continue to make and own rimfire others. So there is ways around this, but if you have one of these guns, you're probably going to end up registering it. I'm probably going to end up registering mine. Here's the deal. All the features here, these are all the rifle features. And then it adds all the pistol features. So you can't have a pistol grip, you can't have a thumbhole stock, can't have a folding or telescoping stock, can't have a grenade launcher or flare launcher, a flash suppressor, a forward pistol grip, a threaded barrel capable of accepting a flash suppressor, forward grip, or silencer, a second hand grip, a shroud that is attached to a barrel shroud basically, the capacity to accept a detachable magazine at some location outside of the pistol grip. Those are the features. Those are all linked to the first qualifier of a semi-auto centerfire firearm that does not have a fixed magazine. So if we then go to here, section 10, a semi-automatic centerfire, so I'm just going to say other. So I'm going to refer to these as a Title I or an other. So an other firearm that has a fixed magazine with the capacity to accept more than 10 rounds, meaning that if you went fixed mag with your other style firearms, you couldn't use an 11 round or greater magazine, meaning your Freedom Week mags you can't use. An other firearm that is not a rifle, pistol, or shotgun that has an overall length of less than 30 inches. So here we're actually going to read the section that talks about the actual assault weapon registration for these other firearms. So if you possess it prior to July 1st of this year, it says this section does not apply for sections 9, 10, and 11, subdivision A of section 3050. If you possess the assault weapon prior to July 1st, 2020, and all of the following are applicable, meaning that you have to have both A and B. Prior to July 1st, 2022, the person would have been eligible to register that assault weapon pursuant to Subdivision C of Section 3090, meaning that during the period of time where they outlawed them to where you have to, the cutoff date for registration, you have to be a legal citizen, you have to be a California resident, you have to be able to legally possess that gun. You can't be a prohibited person. The person lawfully possessed that firearm prior to July 1st. So basically what this means, you have to have owned that gun prior to July 1st of this year. You then also need to have been fully eligible to own and register that gun up to the end date of July 1st, 2022. The person registers the assault weapon by January 1st of 2022 in accordance with Subdivision C of Section 3090. This is kind of interesting to me because you have to, it says here prior to July 1st, 2022, you have to be eligible to register that gun as an assault weapon, but the person must register it before January 1st of 2022. I don't really know how that works because technically this wouldn't really apply because this is already in effect. I don't really know how that works, but basically you got to own this gun before July 1st, 2020, and then you have to register it by July 1st of 2022 or January 1st, 2022. We will see what the end date for this whole section is because this is all up in the air. There could be changes. So here's the actual section talking about the requirements. There's a bunch of requirements. It's looking like the same stuff for the 2016 ban, meaning you have to put in all your information. You have to show photos of the firearm, how you acquired, all that kind of information. And then you're going to have to pay fees. And then here is a specific part that I think is actually interesting. For registration of assault weapons in accordance with subsection C of section 3090, joint registration is not permitted. So what that means is this section here is saying that you have to register your gun as your other gun as an assault weapon. This is saying that you can't do it as a joint registry, meaning that you couldn't register this with a spouse that lives in the same home as you, which was interesting because I believe that was an option prior. So let's kind of talk about this and what this all means. Basically, support Franklin Armory. Please put down the $5 deposit. We don't know what it's going to really do, but it might end up providing a situation where you're able to get damages if this lawsuit ends up panning out in the way that we want it to. If you own an other firearm currently, you're going to have to register it prior to January 1st of 2022. You're going to have to possess it prior to July 1st of 2020. So that's kind of interesting because they're not allowing people to currently do it. I have videos on how I have mine. So they're going really about this in just the worst possible way. This is a new assault weapon ban on a gun that unfortunately would have been the best loophole we've ever had. And I feel bad saying loophole because it's not. This is legal. This is specifically not illegal. It's not a loophole. I think Benitez said it best. The Second Amendment is not a loophole that you must get rid of. The Second Amendment is there for a reason. Why is it that we can have guns like this? Why is it that we can't have a gun like this, but we can have guns like our featureless guns? It seems like they're just trying to go after this one niche case, and they're doing it in a way that's just so clearly an infringement. They're using emergency legislation when the only emergency going on right now is the fact that our economy is being crippled because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and they're using that as a way to strip your right to own certain types of firearms. It blows me away that they think that they can get away with this. For those of you that are wondering, what can we do? How can we support this? First of all, support Franklin Armory because they do support us here behind enemy lines. And you also want to support organizations like the Firearms Policy Coalition. They currently have several Supreme Court cases up for grabs that hopefully we will be hearing. They also have some court cases that have helped us out majorly in the state of California. We really need to be supporting organizations. I don't care what organization you support. I don't care if you support the NRA. Personally, I don't put money towards the NRA, but please make a donation to whatever gun organization it is that you feel most comfortable donating money to, because they are the ones that are going to be able to help us fight this. Please, we need your help. If you have any questions, please drop a comment down below. You know the drill. As always, have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace.